Forget Trump. The U.S. storms ahead on climate change like never before. Months after President Donald Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord, states and cities are offering their own forecast for reducing global warming. We got this. While leaders outside Washington have been implementing measures for decades when it comes to combating carbon emissions and promoting green energy, the Trump administration's rolling back of federal environmental protections has spurred localities around the country to step up in what experts say is an unprecedented effort. Since Trump took office, there's been a downpour of legislation, amendments and resolutions aimed at curbing carbon emissions that are in line with key tenets of the Paris Climate Pact, the landmark global coalition meant to curb emissions that cause climate change. We're really seeing a groundswell of activity, Sierra Club Executive Director Michael Brune told NBC News. The U.S. is moving strongly and irreversibly forward to transition to clean energy and to take on the climate crisis seriously, even if there is an absence of leadership coming from the White House, Brune added. Because of the President's and Congress' intransigence when it comes to climate change, local governments are looking to do more. To date, 377 mayors have joined together in a group called Climate Mayors, pledging to honor carbon emissions goals set by the Paris Deal in their own cities. Under Paris, the U.S. had committed to cutting greenhouse gas emissions by 26% to 28% from 2005 levels by 2025. Another group, America's Pledge, was created in July by California Governor Jerry Brown and former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg to help organize states, cities and businesses in their efforts to bring down greenhouse gas emissions. Their group now includes officials from 200 cities and counties in 9 states. Actions supporting those goals have emanated from state capitals and city halls with rocket speed. More than 370 bills of varying scope are related to climate change, emissions reductions, carbon capture and green jobs have sprung up in 41 states in Puerto Rico, proposed by Democrats and Republicans alike. At least 50 of the measures have been enacted, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures, and 200 are still pending. Some states have tackled the issue comprehensively. In Hawaii, for example, the state's Democratic-controlled legislature adopted or passed a series of measures, including making chunks of the Paris Pact state law, allocating millions of dollars for emission reductions programs, and taking a step toward mandating climate change education in the state's public schools. In California, Brown extended in July his state's cap-and-trade program, which makes businesses in the Golden State pay for their carbon dioxide emissions to 2030. It had been due to expire in 2020. Under the program, limits are set on the amount of carbon dioxide a company is allowed to emit and auctions are held in which companies bid against each other for permits that allow a specific amount of emission. The cash from the auctions goes to a state greenhouse gas reduction fund. Other states have taken a narrower approach. In Maine, for example, the politically divided legislature worked across party lines to issue $5 million in bonds to pay for prediction models for the state's coastal zones that will help monitor sea level changes in order to mitigate the impact of help prepare for rising sea levels caused by climate change. Maryland's Democratic-controlled state legislature passed a bill to incentivize farming practices that reduce runoff and emissions. Even more action is taking place at the city level. There's literally nothing more important than saving the planet, and now the city's leading the effort. Long Beach, California, Mayor Robert Garcia told NBC News. That's the world we live in with Trump having withdrawn from Paris. A new survey of more than 100 American cities with at least 30,000 people, released exclusively Sunday to NBC